So, as we all know, TB Joshua has been trending for some time now, and almost every man of God who is close to him or who believe in him is giving comments or appreciating or trying to make comments on the BBC documentary. Mind you, the documentary that has been produced by BBC Africa is not attack on TB Joshua alone. You need to know as a Christian that it's an attack on the church, because they are trying to eliminate all the spiritual part of the church, to discredit the miracles that God used the senior prophet TB Joshua to do. So if you listen to some of the BBC documentary interviews, you realize that they are saying that everything that happened at Squan is a plan. There's never been any miracles. And so Prophet Makandiwa also give his side. According to him, he watched all the 3 episodes, and he also give an account on what he sees wrong with the documentary. I can tell you, he really dig holes in the documentary. He make BBC look useless.
I've watched several of his videos. If you look at the way that the man conducted himself, there are good things that we can learn. I'll get to the part where I talk about people that have come out to make confessions. And I'll try not just to address the people involved in the documentary, but I'll try and address the community, that constituency. The members, the vulnerable. That part is going to be so crucial for some of you. It's important. I believe in building up cases. I know you might want me to jump straight into matters I'm already in. As long as you follow, just follow where we are going. My daughter once asked me, why is it in chapter 2 of the book of Samuel, I see Eli inviting his sons who were promiscuous, sleeping with women in the church, in the temple. And he's asking them, my sons, what is it? What is this thing that I hear from the people? Why are you doing this to God's people? And he tried by all means as a father to give his sons counsel. And he said, if a man has a matter against another man will come and mediate and intervene and even intercede. But if a man has a matter against God, who shall stand in between? This was Eli advising his children to desist from the sin that they were committing in the temple of God. That's in chapter 2. And then she said to me, but in chapter 3, God comes to Samuel and he tells him, this is the thing that is so terrible that I'm going to bring upon the house of Eli because of the iniquity that his sons has committed, because of the blasphemies. When we looked at that, the blasphemy was not in the sense of them having opened their mouth and insulted the Holy Spirit or insulted God. They had slept with women. And God did not just call it adultery, he calls it blasphemy. It was an attack on God, yet having slept with his people. So her question was, why did God in chapter 3 then say to Samuel, Eli did not rebuke, Eli did nothing concerning the matter. So I'm going to bring horror over his family, a thing that when people hear, their ears are going to tingle. So her question was trying to reconcile the two. How come I saw him openly, clearly rebuking his sons and advising them not to sin against God in chapter 2. And in chapter 3, God is saying he did nothing to correct his sons. So we began to discuss, we began to learn from there. In as much as he might have rebuked, this is what we found out, that in as much as he might have probably disciplined his sons, he did not discipline them to an extent that God would consider it a discipline. Did he not advise his sons not to blaspheme against God? He did. Did he stop them? Did he fire them from offering service in the temple? He did not. Eli would probably have hired other people to come and do the same duties, but he did not. So God knew. That's why even when Samuel brought the news to Eli that this is what God said, that he's going to beat you up, Eli himself did not complain. He did not say, but how come I advised them to stop? And in chapter 2, even you, God, you helped my sons to not listen to me because you wanted to kill them. You see it in chapter 2. When the father rebuked his sons, God came and hardened the hearts of these sons to not listen to their father because he wanted to kill them. And God comes in chapter 3 and he's saying, you didn't do enough. So, there is something greater, something bigger that Eli should have done, and he did not. So there comes a time when we are supposed to speak. Some listen to this and they think they are hearing a new phenomenon. I'm giving you scriptures now where you have things happening in the Bible, atrocities being committed in the Bible, as back as then. So, are all these people coming out telling the truth? Are they lying? Well, let's discuss. Let's talk about that. You need to have the wisdom of God in you activated. It has to be activated every time that you interface with information from different sources. You must first of all have the wisdom which is of God as a qualification. That is what qualifies you to be reading stories. It is the wisdom that qualifies you to be following up on matters, especially on social media. You need to make sure that you have an instrument designed to safeguard you, safeguard your heart. And that instrument is called wisdom. So, it's easy to investigate a lie, in as much as it is difficult for some people. But let's look at things that you have heard most people say concerning TB Joshua. You have a man that they say was a ritualist. He's into witchcraft. He's into dark arts. He's a wizard. They've said all sorts of things about the man, including in this documentary that has recently come out. Of course, you also hear people saying that why are they speaking now that the man is dead? But according to the documentary, if you follow it very well, you see that those people were interviewed before. Their intention was for this matter to come out before the man passes on. It's clear in the documentary, and yet still people are saying, why are you doing this, realizing the man is no longer here? So, these are things that you look at and you question yourself, where is the truth in this? Now, if a man is into rituals, then when you want to destroy him, when you want to attack him, when you want to discredit him, you want to bring him down, there are things about the man that you should not deny. There are things about the man that you should not ignore. I heard, this is not like prophetic, this is not in the spirit. No, I watched the documentary. When people ask me, what's your take on this? On other matters, I look into the matter first. On this one, I had to look into the matter, even though people were not bothering me, but I needed to understand what is happening here. Now think for a moment. You have a man who is working in your prayer mountain. He's not a little boy, he's a mature man. He's probably a father of I don't know how many children, and he's one of your workers, and he's your intercessor, and he stays in the prayer mountain. And he's there for 16 years. And in that place, you've got pictures of men of God that are being prayed against, whether there is blood being spilled on the pictures, whether they are using swords. And at some point he said he comes to the prayer mountain and there is a fish pond over there, and then he removes his hair and his puberty hair, and we took one of the fish and he puts it in the mouth of the fish and allows the fish to go, and then the fish started multiplying and all sorts of things. And you look at that.
There was one day TB Joshua came to the mountain. They caught one fish alive, very big. So in my present, TB Joshua cut his beard, cut part of the hair, his private part. He poured those things in the mouth of that fish. Say we should take it back to the river and drop it. That was how they start multiplying. When they lay egg, they lay thousands of eggs. It's secretive. If we are talking about spiritual power, either it's Satan or it's God.
What is it that you would have done if you were TB Joshua? Having a worker who's taking care of your place, probably is your intercessor, and you are not of God, and you want him to believe that you are of God. Would you do this in his presence? What stops you from shaving your hair and you carry it to the place and you dismiss everyone and you conduct your ceremonies? This man is saying, I saw him, he took off his hair and he went under, and again he took off his hair, placed it in the mouth of a fish in your presence, still wanting you to believe that he is of God. And after that, you seem not to be sure. It's either he is of God. You hear him saying it's either he is of God or he is of the devil. You can be close to a man for 16 years and still you are not sure whether he is of God or he is of the devil. You must have verified that before granting people an opportunity to record you. We need people who are sure of what they are saying. Am I saying there are no pastors who are doing rituals? What I'm saying is, you can't put these arguments in the same statement. Once a man is into doing rituals and is shedding blood, you must identify the reason, things that then he goes on to do by reason of the rituals that he has done. If he is into shedding blood, if he has slaughtered, if he has killed people, buried them somewhere, it must be for what reason? The reason must be probably power to do the miracles, an ability to prophesy. The ritual must then give the man the ability to prophesy and then not make use of his disciples to then collect information from people. Why would you kill a chicken? Why would you kill people? Why would you drink their blood to then physically send people to collect information from visitors, and they physically bring it to you so that you would give it out as prophecy. Does that require human blood? Am I saying he never conducted any ritual? I'm saying find one thing that you can accept. You cannot say all of the miracles were fake. All of the miracles were doctored. All the prophecies were physically and manually given to him by his disciples. And at the same time, he goes on to conduct some rituals. For what power? For what ability then? All I'm saying, next time you think of destroying a man, find one side that you accept. Don't try to destroy all of him.
The miracles he did, the whole thing is stage managed and faked. It's faked. I supervise everything for years. I know everything that happens.
Sacrifice one side. Let go of one side. So if you're not listening to me carefully, you would think I'm saying he never did that. He never shed blood. I'm simply saying, if you're saying he did, it was for what reason? Then you realize that you have to let go of one area. You have to admit the power was there. The prophetic was there. And you then say it was as a result of the rituals that he was doing. Not to say there is a ritual and the man cannot prophesy. He's doing rituals and the man has no power to do the miracles. The rituals were for what? Maybe they were not for power. Maybe the rituals were not for the prophecies. Maybe the rituals were for a bigger church. Is his church the biggest in Nigeria? It's not. In terms of membership, he has few members as compared to other churches whose pastors are not being accused of conducting any ritual. Was it for, of course, many people would, those are not members, those were visitors. They would come from their churches, visit him because they had problems. Those are not members. So the ritual was for what? Maybe the ritual was for long life. If he was drinking people's blood so that he would live long, then you must then come out and let us know that probably he never died, he's still alive. Just so that you defend, you justify the reason for the ritual. He did a ritual for what reason? Give us a reason that you say in this area it was real, the power was real, the prophetic was real. You would rather say he's not into rituals. Then you say that's why I would give him information from the people that we get from the people. That's how you deal with a so-called prophet who has no access to a charm. If a charm is giving him information, why would you need a list of disciples eating your food, staying in the campus to collect information from the people, yet you have a charm that can give you information? about the people. The two cannot go together. Sacrifice one. I'm teaching you next time you seek to destroy, you seek to attack. Try to appeal to logic. Make sense in what you're saying. I don't want to have a man who has stayed with a man for 16 years to come out and say, it's either he's Satan or he's, what were you doing in 16 years? You never had your phone on you in 16 years. You never spoke to your family from the prayer mountain. You never took a picture of what was happening. Am I saying he never did that? I'm just saying you are not smart enough. You are not the one to be used either by God or by the devil to bring down a man. We need people that are smart. Try to do a better job next time. Most people that I know that consider themselves to be prophets, they use physical means to get information about people from physical, natural sources. Yes, sending people to collect information. People come for counseling. You sit with a local pastor, a zonal pastor, a cell group pastor. And when they are coming for a quarterly conference where the general overseer is going to be ministering, those pastors, they bring information to their senior. And he knows how many members are coming from that cell. And they prophesy using information that they got from people. And such a man of God doesn't require any ritual. You don't need to kill children. So, this is what most people are doing. You don't need to cut the head of a man and you take out his heart and you eat it raw so that you can get information from Facebook about a person. The two doesn't go together. I'm educating you, I'm teaching you, in case next time you want to attack a man. Make sure that you are reasonable in your attempt. So there are things that you must accept. You cannot say TB Joshua had no power. You can't say there wasn't any power there. That's not true. You make us question then everything else that you're going to say. Do you even know what power is?
The miracles he did, the whole thing is stage managed and faked. It's faked.
If we are talking about spiritual power, either it's Satan or it's God.
He had it. As of the source, be sure. You don't expect us to be sure. You were there for years. You have to be sure. So let's keep on looking at what he was doing. Quite a lot. Even Nigeria, even the government can attest to the contributions. He was a religious attraction. He contributed to the economy of his country. The more people you have coming into your country, that's a contribution to your economy.